I have been teaching yoga almost 3 years. Right after Labor Day will be 3 years, but I've been practicing a lot longer.
Do you like yoga? Because I need yoga calm me down because I get
Yoga's good for that.
because I get angry.
Yeah, well, we'll get you.
Be able to calm me down.
Yeah, we'll get you calmed down. Hey, good morning, everyone. I am coming at you from the Crossroads Library branch today, and we have our community yoga class today, our chair yoga class, and I wanted to take the opportunity to share this with everyone out there on the World Wide Web so that you could join us from wherever you're at. If you just can't make it into us, then this is a way that you could join us and practice with us. So if you are hearing me okay, can see me okay, maybe give me a little wave, say hello. I've got a nice group of people with me today, so good morning, everyone. And so today's class is going to be about 45 minutes. I forgot I had a doctor's appointment and overlapped the schedule. Good morning. And we've got a couple more chairs right up here, and there's one over on the left there. So we are going to begin today. And the most important thing when we're working in chair yoga is to really find your center of gravity and find yourself in your seat, which sounds kind of silly, but we don't often think about our posture. We might sit with our legs crossed, we might have our ankles crossed, we might kind of slump in our chair, but we really want to think about our posture. So let's begin with that. The first thing I want you to do is get your feet firmly on the ground in front of you. And if you peek down, we want our toes pointed straight ahead and mostly in alignment with our knees. So our feet, our knees, and then right back to our hips. And we're going to settle into our seat. Now, if you give a little rock from side to side, you should feel your sit bones underneath of your body. There's two little bony points and you're like, oh yeah, there they are, I can find them. If you're having a hard time finding them, sometimes that happens too. We might have to move a little bit of that fleshy bit away so that we can feel our bottom in the chair. The other thing is these seats are a little bit more rounded, so it's kind of hard to do it, but if you're able to kind of scoot back a little bit, maybe not all the way back because you'll definitely be leaning back. There's a nice little curve here at the back, and you might feel that at your low back as you scoot back. So we want to land with our shoulders right over our hips, our feet right under knees, and then let's allow our hands to come to rest on our knees. Good. Now, if you feel okay doing so, you could close down your eyes here, or you could soften your gaze towards the tip of your nose. And we're just going to take a few moments to really focus on our breath. This is another one of those things that we don't often do. We don't often take the time to notice our breath. We just take for granted that it happens. Some of us don't always take it for granted, but we just know our body's going to do it for us. So let's begin by noticing the breath. And I want you to first notice, how is your breath coming into your body? Are you breathing in through your nose, or are you breathing in through your mouth? And then notice where the breath is traveling to. Is the breath moving into your chest, or are you able to breathe all the way down into your belly? Good. Now, notice how your breath is leaving your body. Is it leaving through your nose, or is it leaving between parted lips? Okay, now let's take some really intentional breaths. I want you to breathe in through your nose, so gently seal your lips. Take a big breath in and see if you can fill your belly up with breath. And then a big long exhale as though you're extinguishing candles on a cake. Good. And then as you breathe in again, I want you to lift up through the crown of your head, extending taller, stacking the crown of the head over your tailbone. We've got that beautiful tall posture in our body. Big breath in through your nose. Long, slow exhale between parted lips. Good. Once more, let's do that again. Full breath in through your nose, fill your belly. Long, slow exhale. Good. Now let's let your breath come back naturally at its natural pace. And again, just take a minute to notice, is your breath a little different now after intentional breath? Do you feel like you can breathe a little easier and a little fuller? Good. All right, let's take some little neck stretches here. So we can leave the eyes closed, or you can softly open the eyes. We're gonna let our chin fall towards our chest. And now notice the stretch along the back of your neck. Take a breath in through your nose. And this time a long, slow exhale from your nose. Good. Now softly roll your right ear towards your right shoulder and reach your left fingertips down towards the earth and feel that long stretch from just behind your ear down into the shoulder, maybe extending all the way down to your fingertips. Good. Breath in and breath out. Good. Now go ahead and bring that left hand back onto the lap and let your chin gently roll back to center. And now left ear towards left shoulder. And we reach the right fingertips down towards the earth. And we feel that stretch from just behind the ear, down along the length of the neck, into the shoulder. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Good. Gently rock your chin back to center. Bring your right hand back to lap. And now we're going to flutter the eyes open and lift the gaze and look towards the ceiling. And feel that stretch along the front of your throat, maybe even down into your collarbones and across the chest a little bit. And now bring your chin back neutral. So neutral just means we're looking straight ahead. We're not looking up or down. We're trying to keep the chin parallel to the earth. Let's reach our hands down beside the body, palms to the front of the room. This becomes our seated Tadasana, or our mountain pose. And you want to feel really strong in this pose. You're lifted up through the crown of your head. You have that beautiful tall posture. You feel firm into your feet on the earth. On our inhale breath, let's reach our arms up and over your head. Good. Exhale, we just softly let the hands float back down beside the body. Good. Let's do that again. Big inhale breath. Scoop your arms up and over the head. Exhale, let them float back down. Good. One more time, just like that. Big inhale breath. Reach your arms high. This time, exhale, bring your hands to heart center, letting your hands come together, palm to palm, fingertip to fingertip. And you can let your elbows kind of relax down here. Maybe you bow your head towards your chest. And in a yoga practice, we like to set an intention or a mantra. And I like to tell my students, if there's a prayer that speaks to your heart, you can let that be with you today as we move. If you'd like to set an intention, maybe it's I'm at peace. I am present. And then just let that be with you throughout our practice today. On our inhale breath, we'll press palm to palm, fingertip to fingertip, reach your fingers back up and over your head. And on that exhale breath, we're going to let the hands float back down beside the body. Good. All right, let's change this up a little. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. And I'm going to try to do this with you. I'm not great at mirroring, but we're going to try. We're going to take a twist to the right. So let's bring our left hand to the outside of our right knee. So we're going to twist towards the window. And then that other hand can kind of reach over the back of your chair. And if you would like to, you can catch the back of your chair. And I want you to really think about making this twist originate through the shoulders and the upper back, more so than trying to crank yourself. We just want to look for sensation, not pain. We're looking over our shoulder. Take a big breath in and a breath out. Inhale and exhale. Good. Now on our inhale breath, we'll bring the arms back up and over the head. Turn your hearts back towards center. And on the exhale, we're going to twist towards the right. Whoop, towards your left. We're going to take a little twist here, and our hand's going to come outside the knee. We're looking towards the library now. Anybody planning on picking up books afterwards? I forgot to bring my other books so I could return them. Take a big full inhale. and exhale. That left hand could be catching the back of your chair, helping yourself twist just a little bit more. A big breath in and a big breath out. Good. On this next inhale breath, we'll reach the arms back up and over the head. Turn your heart and your gaze back to center. And now let's open the legs just a little bit. Step the feet so they're pointed open, maybe at 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock with the toes. And then we're going to take a little fold forward. Now think about the fold starting at your hips as we reach the hands forward. Now they don't need to touch the ground. We can just let the hands kind of dangle down inside. The arms reach to the inside of the legs. Tuck your chin toward your chest. Your forehead rounds down. Good. Now on this next inhale breath, we'll come back tall and bring your hands back to your knees. If we could pretend that our back was a ski ramp, we want to have a nice long line from the crown to the tail. So we're not looking to kind of arch forward or round back. We just want a nice straight spine with a little bit of a lean to it. Good. Let's take that lift back up nice and tall. Reach your arms high overhead. Big inhale. And let's take that fold again. Exhale, fold forward. Let yourself reach towards your toes. Chin tucks to the chest. The forehead rounds down. Good. If we're feeling anxious when we forward fold in this way, this can be a great way to help calm our nervous system. Inhale, come back nice and tall again. Good. Now let's go ahead and scoot out to the edge of our chair a little bit. So you're sitting more on the edge and you can get a little bit more space between your body and the seat. And I want you to bring your left leg right in front. So we have a nice L shape happening with the leg. We've got the ankle under the knee still aligned with the hip, the toes are still straight ahead, and then send your right leg out to the side of your body. When we send our right leg out to the side of our body, we want to kind of imagine that our knee is now fused and our knee doesn't move. Excuse me. So we're going to start to tip our toes forward and then backwards. So we're really moving this big femur bone in our hip joint. Turn the toes forward and then turn the toes back. So try to make this happen as if your leg was one solid piece and we aren't able to move the ankle or the knee. So we tip it forward and we tip it back. And this is really going to be the movement or range of motion is going to be dependent upon your body. So if, you may only have a little bit of movement. You may have big range of motion. It really depends upon you. Good. Now let's go ahead and come back so that our toes are right towards the sky. And then bring your hands onto your knee and reach your other hand up and over. So we're going to take a little bit of a side body stretch here. And let's see what we can feel in the rib cage, in this axillary region, our armpit. And as you're reaching that arm overhead, can you think about wrapping your shoulder blade and your rib cage open so that you're really getting a lot of breath moved into your lung? Take a full breath in and a full breath out. An inhale breath and an exhale. Good. Now bring that top hand back up, and then we're going to find the edge of our chair and we're going to grab a hold of it. And now the hand that's reaching down our leg, we're going to reach it up and over and take an even bigger side body stretch here. And same thing, we're breathing into side body, we're wrapping and rolling the shoulder blade open, creating more space to breathe. Full breath in and a full breath out. Good. Come back through center. Now let's go ahead and bring that right leg back in. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Send that left leg out. Now, ankle is fused, knee is fused. We can't move anything except the femur and our hip joint. And we'll start to tip the toes forward and back and forward and back. So we're just really thinking about that ball of our hip joint, of our femur, moving in the hip joint here. So when we don't move a joint, what happens? Say we injure ourselves, we're in a cast, right? We get the cast off, and man, it's hard to move that joint, right? So when we actually move our joint, we're moving the synovial fluid in here. And when we move the joint, it creates new synovial fluid. It's kind of like giving your body an oil change. And the car always runs better after an oil change, right? Right, guys? Okay, so if we can get that synovial fluid changed out in the joint, then it feels better. Okay, let's go ahead and come into stillness, toes back towards the sky. Now, the hand down the leg, other hand, we're gonna breathe it up, ooh, there went my water, up and over the head. Now, we're wrapping and rolling the shoulder blade, keeping that rib cage open as much as we're able. Breathe into it, big full inhale. And we exhale. Good, full breath in. And full breath out. Good, now bring that top hand back, catch your chair, reach the other hand up and over, lengthening from fingertip to tips of toes. Good, big inhale. Big exhale. Wonderful. One more time. Big breath. Fill that lung. Let it go. Good. Come back center. All right. Now let's go ahead and walk that leg back in. All right. So we're going to have the legs a little bit wider here. And we're going to do just a little bit of hinging through the hips and folding. So let's go ahead. Bring the heart down as forward as we can. And again, we're looking for a long spine. And then press through your palms and lift back up. Nice and tall, stacking the crown of the head back over the tailbone. Let's hinge and fold. Think about that movement originating in the hip. Lift back up. Good, let's do it one more time. Hinge forward. And come back up nice and tall. Good. Now, bring your feet in so that they are right in front of your knees again. And from here, we're gonna find some cat-cow movement. Now, cat and cow sounds just like, the shape in our body is just like it sounds. So I always think of a Halloween cat. So when we round our spine, so we pull our spine back, we round our shoulders forward, our tailbone tucks under. And then on cow, I just always think of the cow being the old neighbor's cow that was an FFA project that should have went away, but it didn't get to go. So now it's like 20 years old, and its belly is sagging towards the earth. So the belly rounds forward, the shoulders draw back, we lift our gaze, the tailbone kind of tucks up. Good. So now let's come back to that. So on the inhale breath, we're here. On that exhale, draw your back towards the back of the room. Tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, and then draw your heart back through on your inhale. Fill your body with breath. The shoulders draw back. We broaden across the heart space. We lift the gaze. Exhale, push it back. Tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, draw your heart through, coming back through to cow. Exhale, cat, round the spine. Tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, draw the heart through. One last time around here, coming through for cow. Exhale, cat. Good. And now let's come back neutral. Stack your shoulders back over your hips. Elongate through the crown of your head, and let's find some little bit of movement for our toes. So I like to do a little bit of rocking here. So we're going to pick up our toes and then rock the toes down and lift your heels. Rock the heels down, lift up your toes. Toes rock down, heels lift up. Good. Heels down, toes up. Toes down, heels up. Again, heels down, toes up. Toes down, heels up. Heels down, toes up. And one more time. Toes down, heels up, come back flat. Perfect. Let's do a little bit of marching now. So now we're going to lift the right leg. And this is as high as it feels good in your body. Now, can you try to keep your shoulders stacked over your hips? Let that leg come back down. March the other leg up. Good. Down and up. Other side. And down and up. Now, bonus points. Can you flex your toes towards your knees? And down. Up. And down. And again, we lift. And we come down. And we lift. And we come down. Let's do that one more time each side. Up. And down. And up. And down. Good stuff. All right. Anybody need to wiggle it out? A little wiggle out? Okay. Let's roll our shoulders up towards our ears. See, not everybody thinks I'm funny back there. Diana. Shoulders down. Shoulders up. And shoulders down. I did a little presentation for a group and I made a little funny. Shoulders up. Nobody laughed. Shoulders down. It was about 90 people and I was like, okay, I'm not supposed to be a comedian. Roll your shoulders towards your ears back to the front of your body and down. So this is kind of like you're a chugging choo-choo train. We roll the shoulders up and down, and up. See, it makes it more fun if you're a choo-choo train. And down. All right, good stuff. Let's reach the arms wide. Ooh, wiggle the fingers. Broaden across the heart space. Now let this feel as if someone is giving a little tug of war on either of your arms, so you're really pulling open. Good. Now let's turn the palms down towards the earth. And now let's bring our fingertips to touch, so we bring them in front of the body. Good. Open back. Little exhale breath. Let's coordinate breath with this. Inhale, bring your fingertips together. Exhale, open. Good. Let's move the breath through our nose. Inhale through your nose, bring fingertips together. Exhale through the nose. Fingertips open. Good. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Go ahead and let your hands float down. Maybe a couple shoulder rolls again. That can feel nice. You know, yoga is really about finding out what feels good in your body while we're working through these movements, and kind of recognizing, here's my starting point today, and then in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, be like, oh, I couldn't do that, or, oh, that really hurt in my joint when I did that the very first time, and now it feels pretty good. All right, let's find that open stance with our legs again, and if you need to inch forward on your chair a little bit more, do that. And we're gonna pull our right knee in towards our chest, so we're gonna give it a little hug. And maybe we reach behind the thigh, or maybe we reach across the shin, whichever feels more accessible to you. And we're still really looking for a tall, tall spine here. Good. And now let's let that right leg back down, and let's take a little forward fold at center. And then we lift the heart back up. And now let's hug the opposite leg in. Maybe we catch behind the thigh or around the shin. And we're really looking to draw the spine tall. Nice big breath in. Breath out, let that foot come down. Let's take that forward fold. Good. Inhale, come back really tall. Let's do that again, once on each side. We'll draw the other knee up, either behind the thigh or across the shin bone. Sit tall. And we come back down, forward fold. Good. Sit tall. Let's bring the other leg in last time. Hug it in. Behind the thigh, across the shin, maybe even flex the toes for bonus points. And then we come back down, that little fold forward. Good. Let's come back nice and tall. Walk the feet back in. Okay, so let's come back into upper body now. So let's bring our hands behind our head. We lace the hands, and then try to draw your elbows as open as you can, and we're still looking for that really tall spine. Let's take an inhale breath and twist to our left. I'm going to try to mirror y'all again. And on the exhale, we come back center. Ooh. Inhale, breath to your right. Look towards the window. It's a beautiful day. Exhale, come back center. Good stuff. Inhale to the other side. Exhale, center. Inhale, back towards the window. Exhale, center. Inhale, look towards the library, towards the books. Exhale, come back center. Last one. Inhale towards the window. Exhale, come back center. Good. Let's release the arms down. Give a couple of those shoulder rolls again. Let's go both ways, forward and back. Good. Okay. From here, we're going to come into a little bit of a standing portion. This won't be a lot, but we are going to work towards this. One of the things I feel like we tend to lose as we age is that ability sometimes to get up and down from our seats. So we're going to work towards that today. And if you need to use your chair to help you lift, then use your chair to lift. We're going to get our feet firmly under body. Toes are pointed straight ahead. We're going to try our best just to lift up without using hands at knees or hands at chair. We'll give the first one a try. And then you decide, okay, you know what? I need a little extra help here. I'm going to put my hands on my knees. I'm going to use my chair, but we're going to do our best to stand without worrying about it. So let's take a big inhale. On the exhale, push through your heels. Whew, and lift and stand. Good job, y'all. Good job. All right, let's go ahead and come back down to sit. We keep posture in mind. Nice and tall. Good. Take a big breath in. Exhale, push through your heels and lift. Look at y'all. Good job. Let's come back to sit. All right, one more time. Up we come. Big inhale. Exhale, push and rise. Okay, so this time we're going to do the infamous chair pose that is yoga class. And I'll try not to tell a story as we sit here. So in chair pose, let me turn a little bit here. This is as if you were coming to Thanksgiving dinner and you have a full plate of food. And you go to sit down and somebody stole your chair and you have to stop midway or you're going to fall and lose your whole plate of food. We don't want that to happen. So we're going to take a big breath in. Exhale, and you're going to start to sit, but you're not really going to sit. It's just a little hover and squat. And then we rise back. Good. Now we come back down to sit. You can bring your hands to prayer at your heart. And then think about your spine. We want to make sure that we don't have our tailbone tucked under. We don't want our tailbone popped out. That looks like a little booty pop. We don't want that. We have a nice neutral spine. And then we come to stand back tall. Good. Let's take an inhale. Reach your arms high overhead. Exhale, let's come to chair. Whew, just like you're going to sit down, but we're going to hover. Good. Inhale, stand tall, back to mountain, Tadasana pose. Inhale, take extended mountain, reach your arms high overhead. Exhale, chair pose. We find that little seat. Good. Now, imagine that you have a force field between your knees. So be cautious and aware that we aren't splaying, that we have our knees directed straight ahead. Good. And this could be here. It doesn't have to be here. And rise, back mountain pose. Good job. All right, since we're standing, let's go ahead and finish out our standing portion. I'm going to have you come behind your chair. And we're going to do what is called the kitchen sink stretch. Now, if I have anyone who has glaucoma, and you do not need to shout it out, but if you are a glaucoma patient, I want you to keep your gaze straight ahead. Don't look to the floor as we do this stretch. So we're going to put our hands on the back of our chair, and then we are going to, move my water out of the way, we are going to start to walk back. So we're going to start to step back, step back, step back. And what we're looking for is our hands to be on the chair. Again, glaucoma patients, vision straight ahead, not looking down. Everyone else, we're going to look straight down to the ground. We're going to keep walking back until we create a table with our spine. So we have this beautiful long line from our hands to our crown to our shoulders, all the way back to the hips. Our toes are straight ahead.
I can't do that.
How's this feel? Good. Go ahead and look down at the ground. Good.
I can't do that.
Just a little bit more. Good. Can you take one more step back?
I can't do that either.
Yeah, beautiful. And soften your knees just a little bit so they're not locked out. Can you take one more step back?
I can't do that either.
There it is. Good. You can even let your hands come out on the side of the chair a little bit. So you have this really long, flat line. Don't bend as much in your knees if you need to, so you go a little bit up on the line. Good. Up down at the ground. Make a nice flat line as we go. Good job. Good job. Looking good over here, ladies and gentlemen. Good job, y'all. Go ahead and start to walk your feet back in towards the chair. Come back to stand really tall. Okay, now let's find a calf stretch. In our calf stretch, we're going to firm down through your left foot. And we're going to step our right foot back, nice and long away from the body. And then you're going to start to take a little bit of a pulse here and let your heel kind of drop down and lift back up and drop down, lift back up, drop down and hang out right here. Now, as you're standing here, instead of being here, let's see if we can come tall in our spine. Good. Take a big inhale breath and a long, slow exhale. Good. Full breath in and full breath out. Good. Now, let's go ahead and come back up on the toes of that right foot and step your foot in a little closer. So we're going to have about a foot of space between our feet, and we're going to bend into both knees. And we're going to, you're not really sticking your booty out, but it kind of feels like you're sticking your booty out. And this is just a little bit of a different stretch in the calf muscle. Looks good, Diana.
Hello?
Good. Good, good, good. How's that feel? Does that feel pretty good? Are you able to feel the difference between that longer stride and this one? Good. So this is a stretch you really want to do almost every day. If you can take 2 minutes a day to stretch your calf muscle, it's really going to help you continue to be mobile and keep that mobility and moving forward. Good. Now let's go ahead and stand tall. Step your right foot in. Now let's step the left foot back. Good. And now here we're going to do that same thing. So we're going to give the foot a nice little pulse, kind of picking up and resting down. Good. And then come into stillness and pause. Feel that stretch into the left calf muscle. Good. How are we doing in the back row? We doing good back there? Yeah? All right. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Good. Now let's go ahead and step that left foot in. Just a little bit of a shorter stance, only about a foot between your 2 feet. And then we're going to bend into both knees and change that stretch in the calf muscle. Did you know that you can take yourself out of fight or flight and come into a state of rest with just one breath? Did you know that you could do that? Like if you're feeling really anxious. So we have a nerve in the body called the vagus nerve. And when we take a big belly breath so that our diaphragm moves and is engaged, it massages that vagus nerve and it sends a signal back to our brain and says you're safe. And your body makes that switch. It's like we flip a light switch on the body. Let's go ahead and straighten both legs. Step your left foot in. All right. Anybody want to try tree pose today? Do you know what tree pose is? No? Okay, let's try tree pose. So if you want to turn your chair so that it's sideways and you can rest your hand on it, and we're going to give this a little go. We'll see how it is. So just come to stand and place your hand on the chair for me. And we're going to do both sides, so don't really worry so much about which side you're on right now. So we're going to go with the leg that is closest to our chair is going to be our grounded leg. And then I want you to think about your posture. Shoulders stacked over hips, hips right over ankles. Building up from bottom up, we go ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, crown of head, right over tailbone. Now, let's pick up our right toes and just let them rest on the ground. Now, if we go tree pose, we're going to bring the right knee out towards the side of body. And I got to kick this flip-flop off, you guys. I probably should have worn tennis shoes. So, toes to ground, we're in tree pose. Now, think about drawing the right knee back or your bent knee back. And then the hip that's closest to your chair, we kind of have this little counter thing happening. We're kind of pushing forward through that hip and this knee draws back. Now, if you're feeling pretty stable here and you're like, okay, I can do this, you can bring your foot up so that you rest more at the calf. It's a little more noticeable, like when you get home today, give this a try and see how this feels. Because the arch of our foot is able to wrap our calf muscle pretty easily, and it almost is like it was built. It's a puzzle piece. It fits right there. And we still want to think about drawing that knee back. Okay, good. Now let's reach our arm that's not attached to the chair up and overhead. Let your tree grow. Good job. Anybody feeling fancy? Let's take a lean towards our chair. Ooh, feel that stretch. Good. And now come back for me. Good. And let's just go ahead, let that hand down and foot back to the floor. Okay. Let's switch it up. I'll bring the chair to the other side. And now we've got the side that we're closest to the chair is going to be our grounded foot. Good. And now other side, we'll just go toe to ground. Stack the body tall. So our tendency is when we do this pose, we usually let the hip try to pop out. So we can try to draw it back under the body and stand tall. And we're still working to draw that knee back. Good. Now, if you feel that you have the space, we can bring that calf, bring the foot up to the calf. Good. All right, let's reach that hand up. Take a big breath in and a breath out. Good. Now let's reach over towards the chair. Good. And come back center. Good. And let's come all the way back down. Good job. All right, let me think. What else can we do here? Let's do a warrior pose since we're here and we're standing. All right, so in a warrior pose, and you can stay right where you're at. I just want to turn so that I'm a little bit more here. So in our warrior pose, we're going to take a long step back. And I want you to step back with your left foot to begin. So we'll face our chair. And then just step your left foot back nice and long. And we're going to bring our right knee over our right ankle. And then our toes on our left foot are gonna point to about 10 o'clock or a 45-degree angle. So if you think about the face of a clock, we're gonna turn those left toes to about 10 o'clock. And we still really wanna think about our shoulders being stacked over our hips, the crown over the tail. And then let's ground our left hand on the chair to help support us. And bring your right arm and reach it up and over your head. Good. Good job. We'll keep our gaze straight ahead. Good. Take a big inhale breath. And an exhale. Now, if you are feeling very, very secure in your stance and you feel stable, if you would like to reach your left hand up as well, you could reach your left hand as well. But remember, that chair is there for support, so if you feel that you need it, please keep your hand on the chair. We'll take a big inhale into the belly. A long, slow exhale. Good. Let's bring the hands back down to the chair. And let's just take a moment and straighten your front leg and lean in towards the chair. Now we're just looking to kind of hinge forward, bringing the heart closer to the chair. Good. Let's go ahead and push into the chair, lift the heart, bend into your right knee, step your left foot back forward. Good. Now let's do the other side. Ground down through your left foot, step your right foot back, and now your right toes are going to point to about 2 o'clock, that 45-degree angle, and then our left knee is going to stack over that left ankle. Shoulders are stacked over the hips, crown of the head over the tailbone, so we have this really long line. Good. And now let's reach that left arm up towards the sky. Our gaze is straight ahead. Good. A nice full big breath in. And a full breath out. Inhale, breath. And exhale. If you feel very secure in your feet and you'd like to reach the other hand up, you could reach both hands up. Good. Full inhale breath. And exhale. Good. Let's bring both hands back down to the back of the chair. Straighten the left leg. So we've got both legs nice and straight. Now we're going to hinge through the waist, through the hips, and just bring the heart closer towards the chair. And you're going to feel that in the back of your hamstring on that left leg especially. A full breath in. And a full breath out. Good. Go ahead and start to press away from the chair. Bend back into your left knee. Step your right foot forward nice and tall, returning back to your mountain pose. Good. Let's take one more big stretch of the arms up and overhead before we move. Inhale, reach. Good. Now let's take a cactus of the arms. Exhale, draw your elbows down like you're making a football goal. Any Ohio State fans in the room?
Oh, yeah.
I see that shirt. It's almost time. Inhale, reach your arms high. Let's do that again. Exhale, cactus your arms. Good. One more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back mountain Tadasana, palms open to the front of the room. Good job, you guys. Let's go ahead and come back to sit. So I like to close class with just a little bit of stillness and quiet. We've got about 6 minutes, and I'm going to actually do one more thing here before we close in our silence. And as I said, I apologize that today is only 45 minutes. The next time that we meet, we'll do a full hour. So the first thing I want to do is a little bit of work for our upper back. So this is one of the things that as we start to age, we start to notice that we start to ambulate forward and we start to find this rounding in our upper back. So this is something that we've been working on for several weeks in the studio and chair class, and we've been working on strengthening our upper back. So there are several exercises we can do. We're just going to touch on 2 of them today. So the first thing that I want you to do is to bring your arms out as if you've put them on 2 bars, one on either side of you, or 2 tables. Good. And let's actually go palms down. My apologies. Kind of like you're on a motorcycle. Any motorcycle guys in here? Motorcycle guy? Maybe not? Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw back through the shoulders as if you are pinching your shoulder blades together. So we're going to pull back and then come back forward and draw back You feel that?
I did right on the most.
Yeah, me too. Pull back and come back forward. Good. So this is just a small movement. Good. And let's do that again. Draw back, squeeze between the shoulder blades. Bring your elbows back forward. Pull back. Are you feeling that? Yeah, good. All right, let's do it again. Pull back and forward and back and forward. Good. Let's go ahead and shake that out because that can really, it takes very little effort here to really start to feel that in the upper back. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to bring the arms all the way out to the sides again. Now, I want you to think about, just like we did in the leg, how we moved that femur bone in the hip joint. We're going to do the same thing here with the humerus and the shoulder joint. So we're just going to start to kind of turn the palms forward and back. Thinking about making that movement with just the shoulder and the humerus bone. You feeling that? All right. Feeling that in the back row? Middle row? Front row? Okay. Good stuff. All right, I have fibbed. Let's do a third exercise. Let's bring the arms all the way up and overhead. Now, this time your arms are going to be a little bit more like a V, victory for that first Ohio State win. Palms to the front of the room. Now, we're just going to take the tiniest of little pulses. Pulse back, pulse back, pulse back. We just want our pom-poms to wiggle a little. A little pulse, a little pulse, a little pulse. Feeling that? Pulse. Good. And pulse. Beautiful. One more pulse. Good. Give a little shake. So those are just 3 of the exercises that you can do. So we do that pull back as if you're squeezing the shoulder blades together. We do that rotation of the humerus and the joint. And then we just do those little pulse backs. Okay? So that can be a big help. Okay, so the part of yoga that everybody likes, the quiet part. Okay, so we're going to come into this and we're going to do just a little bit of breath before we come into that stillness. So let's first come back into our seat, letting yourself settle all the way back in. Find your sit bones beneath your body, the knees in front of hips, the toes straight ahead, the feet firmly on the floor. If you're at home and you're noticing that your back's not quite into the chair, you can always fold a blanket over the back of your chair, or you could put a small cushion here so that you actually feel that support behind you and you can feel that you're supported. Excuse me. So let's take a couple of breaths together. I want to do a square breath. So this is like if you visualize a box. We're going to inhale along the top of the box. We're going to hold our breath as we come down the side of the box. Breathe out along bottom and hold. Now, if it's not appropriate for you to hold your breath, please don't do so, okay? If you feel like if you can breathe in for 4 and you can hold for 2 and breathe out for 4 and hold for 2, do what's appropriate for you. I'm going to do 4 count. And again, if that doesn't feel appropriate for you, please do what feels best for you. You can just breathe naturally and close down the eyes and that'll be a-okay. So let's go ahead and begin with an inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And now just let your breath come back natural. You can let your gaze go really soft and fuzzy here towards the tip of your nose. Let your eyes close down. And let your awareness be with your breath. Following the breath as it inhale and into exhale, as though you were watching the waves on the ocean moving in and out. Allow the space between your eyebrows to soften, the skin across your forehead to relax. Bring your lips together, your teeth slightly apart. Allow your shoulders to soften and relax. Allow yourself to feel heavy into your seat and into your feet. And allow yourself to just be present right here, right now. Allowing your to-do list to just set aside and focus here now. Can you notice your heartbeat? Start to bring a little bit of awareness back into the fingers and your toes. Let your breath begin to draw in more fully and deeply. Maybe coming out on a sigh. And we'll bring our hands together at heart center, letting the thumbs come to rest at your heart space and bowing your head. And here we take a moment of gratitude for this practice. To you for making space in your day and for this opportunity to come together in community and in collective energy. Let's take a clearing breath together before we close. A full inhale through the nose and a big sigh. May your life be free of struggle. May your heart be open. May your body be filled with joy and ease. May you share your gifts with the world, and may you know your true self in this lifetime. If you'll join me in saying, Namaste. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I really appreciate all of you. And I'll be back in 2 weeks. I believe it's the 28th that I'll be here. I plan to broadcast again live. As long as this went okay and is well received, because I know some of y'all online have mentioned that this wasn't in the evening, or perhaps transportation didn't work out today, or whatever, but it'll be here for you to access. Thank you guys for joining me as well. I'll see you all soon. Let me find the stuff.